Hello, all of you, and today I'm trying to teach you about taxes and how they work. So, taxes are basically when you, a small community of people or big, depending on their age, provide significant money to the government to ensure the government facilities, so that the government facilities are provided to everyone and from all social, economical, and cultural heritages. And the taxes itself depend on the economic background of each, and so the social and cultural. And the rich, however, pay more taxes than the less, and get the shit. But okay. Mm. Okay, so why was taxes originated? Taxes were originated to so that the government comes together, and that like cooperation as a big movement becomes, and so that people can collectively work as a group and not as an individual. Because it's, for example, uh, it's all 10,000 people are on an island, and most people think about themselves: build a home, build shelter, build water, get food. But nobody tells has the idea of who will build the roads, hospitals, and other stuff. And as we get to know कि nobody will ever do it for free, and that is where all the people collectively share or pool some amount of money so that the road is built by people, or a union, or a institutions which is same as the government. Now, how are the taxes insured? They're insured by many areas, and they are broadly classified into some of the major categories. First being the income tax, which is the tax which is directly accounted on your money which you earn through salary. Second comes your GST, which is good service tax, which comes from when you like basically buy a product and then you sell the product and that is GST, basically good service tax. And then the third comes capital gains tax, which comes in the idea that suppose I put a profit, suppose I put some investment in stocks, or mutual funds, index funds, or anything, and then I put that money, and I when like after 5 years I get the investment, I get the interest, and then I take out the money. The profit made by me is taxed, and that is capital gain taxed. And the fourth one is business tax, which of course comes in the profit earned by businesses, and when they like get more money, like they the profit made by the businessman, they are taxed, and that is called business tax. And these are all the basically broadly classified taxes, and these come into account. Now let's go talk about income tax right now. And basically income tax is something like this: your gross net worth, or your gross salary. Suppose it's 1 lakh rupees, and you credited the amount credited to you by the government is 92,000. That means the rest 8,000 is called TDR, which was cut and sent directly to the government before it was ever sent to you. And that is how it works, because the employer, the who hired you, or the company, directly cuts the amount which was received, which was like your gross income, and was sent to the government as taxes. That is how that was income tax. And at the end of the year you fill a form like ITR, income tax return, I think. And you basically learn about all the taxes that went, your TDR, and all the stuff, like article 245 and some shit like that. Article 16 or something. And that is which tells about all your profit. And it also tells about if you were short on any TDR or stuff and like that. Suppose like you had to pay 40k of your taxes, but you paid 30k, so you have to pay 10k more with interest, depending on policies and stuff. And it also depends on like suppose you paid 50k instead of 30k, and the government basically transfers to you the rest 20k, but it doesn't do it automatically. You have to ask for it, the government. And that is how the TDR system works and how income tax works. The second comes GST, which again, as I said, the taxes on the goods, services, or services. These are actually dependent on a lot of things, and these are the one tax which cannot be actually exempted very easily, except if you are in business. But aside from business point of view, there really is no way to get exempted. Aside if you like tax evade, that's a different thing. There's no way to get rid of GST except if you're a business. But there are ways to get rid of income taxes and TDR. First is your salary expenditure. Basically, it's like where you spend the most money, and you get tax intense incentives, or that tax intense incentives are basically where the government allows, like, basically discounts some money for you. It's like if you buy a solar panel or you get something, you get subsidies and incentives. Like if you do the work which government wants you to do, and you do that, the government will exempt you from some money, and it includes like buying a health insurance, buying a car, like life insurance, buying home loan, because it's loan and you have to pay interest for that. So all these things, and at the conventionally the government also actually demands higher if you do the things which government doesn't really want you to, except like fine and GST on alcohol, cigarettes and all this tobacco related stuff are really high. And basically these are like the income tax which showed, and about tax incentives. Okay, where the fuck was I? Okay. Oh yeah, I was like at tax slabs. Suppose there are two policies. Okay, the government actually rebates your process till like till you earn 12 lakhs, and it's a pretty great thing. Of course, it's actually happened last year when the government increased the price like from I think 8 or 10 lakh to like 12 lakhs. Basically, you don't get tax until you earn more than 12 lakh, and even then comes the marginal reliefs. For example, if you will earn 12 lakh 20,000, for example, which is above the 12 lakh rebate, you get taxed on all 20 lakh 20,000. But that's not how it works. For example, if you earn 12 lakh 20,000, your tax would be like 60,000 or something, and your net income will come out to be less than 12 lakhs. So the government is like, nah, that's unfair because you earned 20,000 more than the 12 lakh area, and now you have to pay 60,000 to the government in taxes. That's not how it works. The government only takes the extra 20,000, and that's called marginal relief, which the government is like, yeah, it's not something serious. And that's how the marginal relief works, and that's how the tax slab works. Actually, this tax slab works like this. For example, the government takes no tax until you earn like the first 4 lakhs, then like I think 8 or 6 5 10% on the next 4 lakh, and it increases as your next 4 lakhs and 4 lakhs. So if you earn like 13 14 lakhs, you get no tax on the first 4 lakhs, you get taxed on the next 4, and more tax on the next 4, and that's how it continues. And that's basically a tax slab and income income tax, and that's how it works. Now however, there are also actually two policies which happened, like I think in the last years, which was like the old reform system and like new reform system. And it included it as follows. For example, the old policies had basically a lot of tax, like the percentage tax rate was very high, but you also had a lot of discounts. But the new system has like very less interest rates, but it also has less to no discounts. So how it works is like this. Okay, suppose you have like a good ass like income, and you have things like house loan, you have subsidies, you have like exemptions, you have a good social structure, you have good credit score and all that stuff. So basically, bitch ass people who came at my house and out. But anyway, let's continue. So the old policies were called people who had more life. For example, if you had house loan, you have high health insurance, life insurance, and like proper documents, and like good civil score, credit score, and that's where it would benefit you. But for example, if you had a pretty simple life and you have 13 lakh or some salary, basically, then the low interest rate and low discount will suit you. For example, if you don't have like health insurance or house loan or something, basically don't get exempted over it, and then you can choose to be a part of the new tax regime, so that you get less discount discounted as well, but you also get less interest is because you don't really have anything to get discounted over. For example, like you don't have a health insurance, you can't get discounted about it, है ना? So you then choose the policy which benefits you more depending on how your lifestyle is. If you have more like uh, lifestyle, if you have a better lifestyle, if you have a better life, I think, and like more house, you get my point. More things, then the government will exempt you, and like for example, if a solar panel, there are subsidies on that and like other stuff, right? So and you have business stuff that you'll get and you have business and stuff and you get exempted over that too. And that's like the thing, if you have more lifestyle better things, then you can choose to be a part of the old policies because that will benefit you more, you'll get more exempted, more discounted, and then you'll have to pay less taxes. But if you are part of, you don't really have a life and you're a loser, then you can choose to have a part of the new policies, basically where you have to pay less money, but you also get very less discounts and stuff. So that's it, and like that's it about like that's all there is about taxes except for like capital taxes and capital gains. I think I'm forgetting one point about short term capital investment and long term capital investment. That's the only thing I'm missing. And it's basically when you like because the government wants you to like invest in capital gains for a long time, there are like different rules for like short term capital investments, long term capital investment. Tax rates differ on both, and like the government provides more benefit in like being a part of like uh higher, I think, like being the long term investment. I think, yeah, that's it. Bye.